Good day one and all, I'm just coming at you with a quick video to have a look at a comical copyright claim that I got. I thought I might as well make this because there's this whole thing going on about where's the fair use, about pointing out that YouTube's copyright system is a little bit insane. And I've had plenty of examples actually, but I never really made a big deal of them. And I just got another quite funny one, so we're going to make a deal of it now. In the past, there's this crazy company called Merlin, which I think I Hate Everything's been having trouble with as well, which they just go around and they're just like, yep, we own Empire Total War, so we're going to claim all your Sinews of War videos. It's like, no, you don't. If you go back to them and say, you're allowed to dispute the claims, obviously, you just say you don't own the copyright to this, so you can't claim it. They'll just go, yeah, we do. And like that's the end of the discussion, because it's the person who makes the claim that assesses the dispute. So if the person made the claim falsely, like knowing it was false because they'll make money off it, then when you dispute it, why would they ever accept the dispute? They're just like, no, like we already lied to make the claim. They're not going to suddenly be honest just because you pointed out the fact they've made a false claim. And that's probably because they know there are no consequences to just sending the dispute back, just saying, no, you can't have it. I've got an example of that actually. So let's, just before we show you this comical one, it was this video right here. So this is my most wanted features battle, and in the middle of this, there's a little bit of a grey area, so this isn't a very good example, but there's a song which has been claimed by WMG on behalf of PLG France, Piano Concerto No. 1 in E minor. So that's obviously a piece of classical music which doesn't really have copyright on it. And the situation was I had taken a recording of it made by an orchestra that had released the recording under Creative Commons, which basically means you can do whatever you want with it. Probably not quite that, but that's basically what it means. And this other orchestra had also made a recording of the same piece of classical music, which is fair, and they're claiming it, saying, well, this is our recording of it. So I just sent you can see I've filed the dispute, because now it says appeal rejected dispute there. So I disputed it saying, this is taken from this website, here's the link, here's their Creative Commons license, I'm allowed to use this for commercial purposes. And they just said, no, that was our recording. So it's a bit of a grey area because the recordings probably would have sounded really similar, but I mean they clearly didn't give the benefit of the doubt because they're going to make money from it and there's no consequence to them doing that, so they might as well. So it's an example of how the system favours doing the wrong thing by the larger company against the creators, which is a little bit annoying, but I mean it doesn't really matter. Being a small channel, copyright issues, although I get them quite a lot, you probably saw just there, I've got loads. They don't really make a big difference because it's like, oh, I can't monetize episode 26 of the second Messiah. Like, it's not a huge deal because that's only a sort of blip. That one's actually blocked in the US. With these 2 Second Messiah episodes, I actually deliberately used copyrighted content, so that's a bit of a different thing, where I used copyrighted content knowing it would be blocked because I thought it enhanced the episode, and I thought it's worth enhancing the episode and not being able to monetize it. But I didn't realize it would get blocked. So that was really rubbish. I don't know why this random track is blocked in the US. Anyway, so the thing I was going to show you is this one. In fact, I've already got the windows open. So here we go. Here's the song. Here's the page claiming that it's got a copyright issue. So let's have a quick listen to the thing that they think is copyrighted and thus deserving of getting Believe Music / to React Records some money off this video. Let's have a little listen. It's pretty loud, so hold your ears. Okay, I think we get the idea. So yes, this is part of my my audiobook that I was doing about how to make Rome 3 a big game design sort of thing. And there's a section in this final part where I'm talking about sound design and I'm comparing different examples of how the soundscape of an ancient battle has been made and sort of contrasting it with the way that Rome 2 did it to try and suggest some improvements. So that clip is from the TV series Rome, which is of course owned by HBO, but Believe Music think that they own this sound clip, and I thought that was quite suspicious. And in particular, they say it's actually part of a song, Dove l'Italian Knack by Draugr. I thought, is it? So if we jump to this window, you can see I thought, oh, let's go and have a listen to this song. So let's have a quick listen. So it actually is in that song. So this is a very interesting case of a copyright issue. So what we've got here, by the way, this song does continue on to have some later on. I noticed a lot of this band's songs are clips from the TV series Rome with music over the top, so I don't know what's going on with these guys. But anyway, so what's happened is they've said, well, this is part of our song, so we own it. And you'll notice their claim ends exactly when the sound effect ends in the video. Can I actually get to that? It's too small to skip to that point. There it is. It fades out again, and there's me talking over it. So they haven't claimed anything in their song. They've claimed the sound effect used underneath the introduction of their song. So it's a very difficult situation here because they've obviously abused the system, or the system has been abused automatically. They would have just, a computer made this decision. So they've obviously got this whole song is in their copyright system. They said, oh, that 10-second clip from the start is in this video, therefore this video must be a video of this song, unless I'm stealing it. But of course, that isn't the case. For a couple of reasons. Both because really, there's a couple of issues here. Draugr have used that clip in their song. The clip is going to be owned by HBO, and now they're claiming that they own it because they have used it. So their use of that clip probably is an example of fair use, possibly anyway, because it was transformative in that they did have at least some audio changes. There was sort of a background hum over the noise, so they changed it a tiny bit, and it wasn't taking anything away from the original product, so it wasn't sort of intimidating, and it wasn't imitating it, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you don't lose any audience to the TV series Rome because they use that clip, so it would be very easy to argue that's a fair use of it. And I believe that my use is fair as well. It's credited and it's used for an academic purpose of comparing sound effect design in different things. So we've both fairly used that sound clip, but they believe they now own it because they have fairly used it. And that's an interesting question. A piece of content that they own the copyright to contains something that was fair used. So if someone else uses that thing that was fair used, do they now own the copyright to this new thing? I don't think they do, but here's an example of the YouTube copyright system being weird. So here, they own that clip from HBO. And it allows to monetize this 1.5 hour video because of a 20-second clip. And they now own the entire of this video because of that, which is why YouTube system is very extreme, which is that if anyone has any stake in anything you do, they own all of it, regardless if you own the copyright to everything else and no matter how much work you put into the rest of it, etc. So it's a very strict system. And I just thought it was interesting. So I am allowed to say I'm going to file a dispute. I'm going to say that my content is fair use. I could also have to say I'm sure that it's fair use because they're quite serious about stopping you making false disputes. So what I have to do here is write to this company, Believe Music, and I have to explain briefly in this box what the problem is. But of course, it's just going to go to them, and they might release it, and they might not. I don't necessarily care because this is part 5 of a very niche video, so it's not exactly going to be making either side a lot of money. It's just a shame. I just don't like having it there. I just rather the copyright claim wasn't there, even though you are allowed to have an infinite amount of claims as long as you don't get strikes. And the strike is either when they manually sort of come in and say, we are going to delete this video because it's totally infringing our copyright, like you've just copied our video entirely, or if you claim, I think if you dispute the claim twice and they reject it the second time, that's also a strike. It's something like that. That's almost definitely not how it works. I've never bothered to go that far with disputing it. So interesting, anyway, an interesting little look at the exciting world of YouTube copyright. But not going to be a huge deal anyway. Well, probably wasn't going to monetize that video anyway because it's not really worth, well, I don't know. It's so long, maybe putting an ad on the front isn't such a big deal. But anyway, thanks for watching this little rant. And keep on going, YouTube. You'll find a way to make this system work one glorious day. Hopefully. Until next time, y'all.